Hi there, this is Jeanette Comerford. Thanks for joining me. This is my Christmas series for 2018. Today's cards feature some very sweet Christmas images from Mama Elephant, and I've added an interactive component to the cards by using Lawn Fawn's reveal wheel sets. Now they have different components and different add-ons, so you can really switch up how these cards look. Now I thought it would be easier to share with you a sample of one of the cards and then take you through all the different components. It can seem a little bit overwhelming when you look at it all, but once you understand how everything works and how everything goes together, it's actually quite simple. And it's a great thing to sort of mass produce. So here you can see that I have a 4x4 card base, and then when I turn this little wheel, if you look in the aperture for the snowflake, you can see that the scene is changing behind the snowflake. So you're going to need a bunch of different sets actually, but you could really get by with just purchasing one. I'm going to share with you which one that is. This is the original reveal wheel set. It comes with this sort of rectangular shape die. It comes with the die for the reveal wheel, and it comes with this disc shape, and that is what is going to allow the wheel to turn. Now what I did is I bought the add-on set, which is this square add-on. So you can see that's what I've used for this card here. So if you're going to choose between the two sets, you need that first one because it has the reveal wheel and the disc. Now there's also different little add-ons to create different shapes for the aperture. So you're going to have one that sort of fits into that notch here, and that will cut the shape out on your card base. And then you have another one that will create a little frame to go around it, just to finish it up, make it look pretty. This one here is sort of a scalloped oval. I believe that comes with the add-on. And then I did purchase this speech bubble as well. Now you don't have to purchase all of these. You don't need all of them. You really just need that one reveal wheel set, and it comes with apertures and everything you need. It cuts like an oval, I believe, that comes with that one. But if you want the add-ons, then you can, I'm going to leave all the links below the video for you to check them out. So for each card, you're going to want to cut one of the disc shapes here. You're going to need to cut one of the reveal wheel. And I just do that with just regular cardstock, nothing too fancy or expensive. And then you're going to need to cut two of the actual shape. So I used the square add-on. I cut one out of regular cardstock, and I did not add the aperture to that. This is going to be the back of my reveal wheel. And then I die cut one with the notch. You're going to see in a minute. I'm going to share it with you. So this one, I cut it with the notch. You can see it's a sort of rectangle shape, and that I cut out of Strathmore Bristol paper because I'm going to be doing some ink blending on it, and that paper is really nice with distress inks. So I'm just sharing with you. You can see that you just add the little notch. I like to add a little bit of post-it tape to make sure they stay together. And then you cut it out. And then you're going to need to cut the little frame for your aperture. So that's what you're going to need to cut. Now I have card bases. They measure 8 by 4, and then I score them at 4 and use my bone folder to create the card base. So you would add the first back here. You would add the disc, the reveal wheel, and then the top, and then the frame. So that's what each card is going to be comprised of. Now I've already die cut some. These are out of the Bristol smooth paper, and I'm going to do some ink blending on them. For this first one, I am using tumbled glass and I believe blueprint sketch distress ink. And I'm just really going on very lightly to add a nice background. I really like the Distress Oxides for this. I feel like the blending is super easy, and you're able to get such a beautiful diffuse blend, and you don't see any lines or any marks anywhere. So you can see how those are going together. I like to carry out the blending past where the aperture is. Now I'm not going to add anything on the bottom because I'm going to have that basically all covered up. For this second one here, I'm going to be using some deeper ink. So I'm starting off with the blueprint sketch, and I'm actually going to add that over the entire card base. I like to leave the little snowflake in there because then I can pop it out and I can use it for another project. So once you have the ink over the entire surface, I'm going to deepen up around the edges. This is going to be a night scene, so I want the edges to be dark. So this is, I'm trying to remember which color this is. I think it's Chip Sapphire. I will leave the links to everything at the bottom of this video. Once I've added that, you're going to see when I remove that little piece of paper, you can see that you can see the lines. So I'm just going to go back with the blueprint sketch and just blend it a little bit more. For a little bit added depth, I'm going to go over the edges with black soot. Not too much, just a little bit. And that really just finishes off the background. I also use or like to use the reveal wheel card bases to create the snowbanks. So I die cut the reveal wheels, and then I'll just use, these are from Mama Elephant, they're the stitched hillside dies, and I create the snowbanks. I'm going to share a little bit of the coloring with you. There were a ton of images in these projects, so just a little bit of each of the colors basically, so that you can see what color markers I used. If there's something I don't mention in this video, you can go check out my blog posting, and I will have every single image listed with every color that I used. I kept all the coloring basically the same. Anytime I was coloring pink, anytime I was coloring aqua, it was always the same marker combinations. Same thing for the penguins. All the penguins were colored with these markers. I think they're incredibly sweet. It was hard to choose which images to use. I think that's why I created so many cards. So you can see I'm just lightly going over that C1 here just to blend it out. Even though his face is white, we still have to add a little bit of shadows to give it definition. I'm giving him some really nice rosy cheeks. I'm going to color his toque. I was letting his face dry before I go in with the beak color, because I didn't want that to sort of bleed out. Now the beak color is also the color that I used for any penguin feet. Coloring the box here with some yellows. And again, those will be the colors that I use throughout the project. These penguins are so cute because you can see that they're wrapping all types of packages, and there's, I think, like you can see up at the top there, there's like a spool of ribbon. There's a pair of scissors that comes with the set. It's like so cute. You can use the images individually for a card, just for a nice clear and simple card, or you can group them all together to make like a huge mega scene. You're going to see one of the cards I made, I just used 2 penguins, and then there was another card I used more than that. And you can just mix and match them. It's so much fun. I decided I wanted a nice red ribbon here. I really like the combination of the pink, the aqua, and the red, and the sort of yellow gold color for my cards. Especially with the blue backgrounds, I find everything pops so nicely. Adding a little bit of texture there to the trim on his hat. Now for the Santa, I'll have the colors that I used for his face listed on my blog, but they're my regular colors. And I'm just sharing how I created the blue of his suit. I thought it would be kind of fun for him to be wearing a blue suit. We always color him up with red, but I thought he would look really cute in a nice blue suit. Again, very quick and simple coloring. These images are not huge, so they're very easily colored. So you can see how I blended everything together. I really like that B00 for the lightest shade. I think it looks really nice with the rest of the blues. Okay, just for his beard, I'm just drawing some lines down with W3, softening them up with W1, and then blending it all with the blender pen. And just a little bit of G000 for his eyeglasses, just so they look reflective. I did the same thing with his trim that I did with the penguin trim, and then his boots are just, I think C9 and C5, I'm not sure. They'll be listed. Now I want to add some snowflakes. So this die set is an old one, or stamp set rather, is an old one from Fawn, and I am going to use it to heat emboss some snowflakes onto the card. Just using my anti-static tool there, and you can see it lines up really nicely. I'm going to stamp it up with Versamark ink, press it down, and then I can sprinkle my embossing powder over the top. Now it's okay on this particular card that the snowflakes are just centered on the top. The bottom portion is going to be covered up. So you can see I did the two smaller ones like that, and I also had created a larger one here. Sponged it the same way I had sponged the second one. And I'm going to be using this stamp, and I'm going to stamp it on the top. And then I'm going to turn it around after I heat emboss it. I'm going to turn it around, flip it around, and I'm going to stamp the bottom because this is a sky scene, and I'm going to have Santa flying his sled in the sky. Now, the middle portion is not going to have any snowflakes, but that's not a bad thing. It's okay because it's going to be mostly covered up with the images that I use. I think I lined them up here for you. Yes, so you can see that's mostly covered up by the images. And then I can just add some white dots with a gel pen later. Those are those snowbanks that I had shared with you before. I did sponge a little bit of tumbled glass ink on them. Now I'm just, sort of placing everything, trying to make sure that what I visualized in my head is going to work on the particular card. I like to organize them all before I start gluing them down. And then I will start gluing, so the things that are sort of at the back have to go on first. And it's always good to have the main elements glued down, and then you can sort of eyeball where you want everything else. I colored all the packages for the Santa in like aquas and blues, so it really is a tone-on-tone card. But I think it works. I think it's really cute. There's a cute little bird that comes. I don't know, it's kind of far away for you to see, but that's a little bird. He's so cute. So he's sitting on top of the sign. And that is the sort of frame for the snowflake. So I'm going to put that on now, and you're going to see how it makes the opening for the snowflake aperture just pop. I'm going to use these little tweezers to position it perfectly. Then I can move on to my other cards. So for this particular card, I use the rectangular speech bubble. And I'm going to position that, and then I can put all the other little images. So these are some of the images that come within this set. I can't remember what it's called, but again, it's going to be linked on the bottom. But I liked the fact that I had that big sort of basket of wrapping paper, because that can be used with many other sets. So I'm centralizing that one penguin, and then I can start adhering the rest of the images right around him. It was kind of important for me that he be sort of in the middle and not cover up the little notch of the speech bubble. That's just a little tag, just a tiny little tag, but it's such a nice little touch. Gonna get position that nicely. And there's my Santa. So again, there's a snowflake aperture, so I'm going to be putting that frame on it. And then I'll be able to glue everything down. Now, Santa needs some reins to hold for his reindeer, so I'm just wrapping some wire around the neck of the reindeer, giving it a little twist. And then I can glue the ends underneath where his mittens are. Just a few more things to do. I want to share this with you because, I'm using all kinds of different sets. So this one comes with the add-on. Now for one of, or I think two of them, I decided to have sort of a rainbow effect behind where the snowflake is. So I just die cut some foil paper with the reveal wheel, trimmed the scallop off, and then cut it in 4, and then just adhered it. On the sample I shared earlier, I just sponged some distress ink over the entire surface. You can do that as well. So let's put this together. You need a little brad, which you're going to put in through the hole in the disc, and then put it in through the hole in the reveal wheel. You're going to close the brad. Then you're going to take some 3D foam. I like these little circles because they're just the exact right size. You're going to want to put, I like to put 4 sort of evenly around on the disc. You want to make sure that it's on the disc only and not touching anything else. Then you can remove the backing. Then you're going to line it up. You're going to line it up top and bottom and line up the reveal wheel with the little opening. There's like a little notched line that goes around. You can line it up to that. I like to put a little bit of post-it tape just to hold it in place. Then you're going to line it up on the backing and press down. And now that little disc is going to stay adhered to the back of your card base. Now you're going to do this just for one of the cards. And then you're going to take your reveal wheel off. Now this is a step you should do before. You should do this before you add it to the card base, but I forgot, so I had to take it off, put it back on. I drew 4 quadrants, and then I can use those lines to sort of rotate around and see where my sentiments are going to go, and then I just trace a little line around the opening. So when I'm done, I'm actually going to have the spots where I want to put my sentiments. Now, like I said, you do this once. I'm going to share with you why. So you're going to add that up, butt it up against the top and the side of your MISTI. Put it in place. Now these are sentiments from the Reveal Wheel Holiday Sentiment Set. And you're just going to position them over those pencil marks. Just make sure that you have the sentiments sort of facing the right way so that when you spin the reveal wheel, they're all aligned the right way. You'll understand what I mean when you do it. Then I'm going to ink it all up. I did stamp it 2 times, and then you have your sentiments beautifully stamped. Then what you can do for the subsequent cards is you can just stamp them. Just butt them up in the exact same place that you put the first one, and you don't have to draw all those lines. You just have to do it once, and then you can just stamp as many as you want, really. Now, another thing I should have done, I was lucky my ink did not smudge, but I should have put the sentiments on top of them, caught them on my MISTI, and then erased everything before I stamped. But I was lucky it didn't smudge, but for you, erase before. So now you can put that back in, and because you want everything to sort of be on the same level, you're going to need some more foam dots. I have some smaller ones and some bigger ones that I use. And then you're going to line up that top with the bottom. Once you're sure everything is aligned properly, then you can press down firmly, and one is completed. And you're just going to do the same thing for each of them. I'm just going to add some adhesive to the back of that and press it down onto my card base. Here's the other one I did. Here is the one with that foil that is going to spin around and give different colors in the snowflake. Again, I just need to add a few little foam adhesive to that disc. I'm going to position it in the right place behind the front, and then I can press everything onto my card base. Here's that larger one. I did the exact same thing. And now you want to sort of let people know that they can turn the wheel. It's a nice little touch to add a little something. So this little arrow comes from the original reveal wheel set. So that's kind of cute. I like how that looks. It sort of blends in with the white and the blue. But then there's tons of little stamps that you can add. This one says turn the wheel, so I'm just adding that with some VersaFine ink. It's kind of cute, and it sort of lets people know that they can turn the disc. That's it for this video. I really hope that you've enjoyed watching it. I hope it inspires you to create some of these reveal wheels. They're so fun. They are fun to make. I think they're going to be fun to receive as well. So thanks for watching. There'll be more videos in this series. For all the links, you can check below this video on YouTube, or you can check out my blog. And here are some other cards from my Christmas series that I've already published in the past. Take care.